What is up, lads? At the beginning of this week, I made a sort of advertisement video of how great my game was going here, as I am officially attempting the Austrian or Roman Empire one culture run on very hard difficulty. And a lot of people asked for an update, and this is basically that. I'm sorry to report, guys, that this is a completely different game. Unfortunately, that was sort of my first real attempt where I continued because we were faring well, and things did not proceed to go well. I was under the impression that as Austria, if we had a really strong game sort of economically and built our country up, if we hit up each of these sort of standard objectives like the personal unions, the reign in northern Italy and the Burgundian inheritance, as well as my own sort of objectives of cheesing the Danish and the PLC into the Holy Roman Empire, I was under the impression that we would fare well against the Ottomans, that we could surround them with diplomacy and actually take them out. Well, boy, was I wrong. The Ottomans had a good game in particular, just like I was having a good game. On very hard difficulty, the AI receives a dramatic reduced penalty in aggressive expansion, and for that reason, as you guys know, Venice typically goes into Serbia, but he actually separate pieced Bosnia by fully annexing him. And I think maybe Serbia lost a couple provinces to the Ottomans when they attacked Byzantium, but essentially all of this became Venetian. And then, respectively, the Ottomans, who hate Venice, then enveloped all of that. They also were able to grab Wallachia as well. So we had an extremely powerful Ottomans on the European side, which was boxing me in, and they proceeded to just snowball more and more out eastward. He actually took quantity ideas as his first idea group, and I found myself completely and utterly boxed in from expanding eastward, which became really problematic as one of my objectives beyond the Holy Roman Empire is to form Rome. In my first war going in against him, I did not feel confident, but I felt like I had to make a move in order to actually have the game continue being viable or legitimate. So I did not feel confident, and we proceeded to get absolutely owned by him, which constituted a restart. And with that in mind, what I did learn is that we need, moreover, more so than hitting up each objective, we need to work in a method of undermining the Ottoman Empire early, because they are simply too strong on very hard difficulty. So, having learned that from the first game, I continued to 1444 for about 3 days straight of massively long streaming hours. I streamed for sort of 10 hours each day, and I cannot even explain to you how unlucky I felt like I was. I mean, it is what it is, I'm being honest with you. A lot of people gave me credit, like in my runs, that I wasn't really making mistakes or things of that nature. We were having good runs. We felt like we had earned some of the variables, but it just felt cursed, absolutely cursed. And it was enough to do my head in, guys. I really was losing my marbles here streaming, trying to get the game going on very hard difficulty. Everything, for example, the Hungarian Union event has 25% chance to just remain Habsburg, and you don't get the PU over him in any way. You don't even get the Casus Belli to enforce a union over him. But if that's the case, there's also about a 50% likelihood that when the Habsburg is put on the throne, you can claim his throne, because he's Habsburg. But not only was he put on the throne game after game after game, but every game he also had an heir. So I could not PU Hungary without resorting to the mission, and the mission requires you to have at least 200 development and more development than Hungary. This is just an example of one variable that just seemed ridiculous. Every single time I was completely boxed out. I think there was 2 occasions in about 18 games where I actually got the CB against him. Just freaky. When it's about 50% chance to get that restoration of the Union CB on him, and it's 25% to be Habsburg and 25% to gain the Union for free. So with that being said, I finally got the dream game. This is our current game. It's 1470, and it is like a week's worth of horrendous cursed luck has finally accumulated and paid off. We gained the earliest personal union of Hungary that I've ever gotten. It was for free, and it was actually prior to when it typically happens because his ruler died in the year 1450. As you can see, I can integrate him January 1500. Absolutely amazing. If that's not all, he self-autonomously annexed Wallachia and then proceeded to just be under me for free. We used Burgundy, just like our last game, to actually we gave some of his land off against France and annexed Lorraine. Very sound tactic there. Also gaining favors with Burgundy to make the next wars like PU and Bohemia not too difficult. It is still early, and I have not reigned in northern Italy, but we have prepped Italy nicely here. Milan is rivaling and allied to us Venice, which is our solution for these two provinces. This will actually be our next war, and our truces, look how easy this is going to be. Our truce just came up. Now, as it happens, our last war was the new objective completed, undermining the Ottoman Empire. Unfortunately, I did not have a good CB. We literally went in with a Hungarian claim on this province because I did not have a good CB, but it was hilarious, guys. I allied everybody under the sun and called them in. We allied Albania to give him a province. We allied Serbia, who was not in this shape initially, to give him a province. We allied Cyprus, who we promised land, and he actually didn't end up requiring us to give him land. We allied the Mamluks as well, and Poland. We called everybody in the world against the Ottomans, and it was absolutely exhilarating. Finally, setting them back here. So, as you can see, we did get the Burgundian inheritance by using Burgundy as a war slave, actually taking the approach of allying him and dragging him into wars. And I am so amped and excited. If that was not enough, right at the end of my stream, boom, Habsburg on the Castilian throne. We have literally every variable. I mean, technically, Castile has not PU'd Aragon. However, you can see that this guy's 65 and this guy's 1 year old. So, very likely for an upcoming regency. Iberian wedding, Super Spain. I thought I would update you guys. This is another run. And, of course, I had a game like this earlier in the year when I was doing this on normal difficulty, where it looked like the dream run, and then our ruler passed away, our heir becomes elected, and then our heir just passes away, even though he's extremely young. So obviously you can be completely griefed by bad luck, and I certainly, I don't feel lucky, so despite this one game, so I'm still a little bit on edge, I'm a little bit nervous, but in theory, this is one of the best games I've played, and we're a little bit behind, but boy, this is shaping up to be a good game. Because we got the inheritance very early, my ruler has not passed away. He's 54 years old, the same ruler from the beginning of the game. But we've had a good imperial authority gain. It's really, really good. Right now, there's peace inside the empire. We have this 10% jammed, and we have this 10% jammed, giving us 0.3 per month. Obviously, that's 0.9 in 3 months or 1.2 in 4 months. Pretty good. We've already passed one reform, and we're due an emperor death here anytime soon, which is 10, which means we're 5 away. So we're very close to passing the next reform, which gives us the +1 diplomat and the reputation. Speaking of reputation, you know, everything's beginning to stabilize here as we have more and more and more reputation on the horizon, and I'm really enjoying myself, guys. So I think this is the run, but it's been pretty dramatic. It was not without tragedy, just like the last run. Thankfully, we did not lose the emperorship yet. That really set me back in the first attempt. However, what did happen is you will notice this is our original ruler, but we do not have an heir. It was actually a decade ago when my ruler was 44 years old. We have used him as a general since the very beginning, which is something I typically like to do to promote the emperor dying to gain 10 imperial authority. Well, he was 44 years old and a general, where we had the classic hunting accident. Not only did that occur, where we were no longer viable as the emperor to be voted for, and I was very concerned we wouldn't get an heir, but then right as we went in against the Papal State, France won on about a 22% the Corée controller and excommunicated me immediately. we still have residual relations here. I'm looking forward to my emperor dying because we're way over our relation slots with these royal marriages. With Saxony, because we had to max our relations up to 200 mid-war, as it was the only other vote I could get. I was giving him cash, I was doing everything, influencing the nation, and we managed to get that vote. But there was about a 3-4 year period where we were completely ineligible to become the emperor, and I was pissing myself. I was so nervous that this glorious, emboldened Hungary Union, early free PU, and this Burgundian inheritance would be squandered. So it's pretty dramatic stuff, but my streams have been killing it lately, guys, in terms of views and support, and I assume that is thanks to the first video here that I posted, among other things. So I hope that you guys are excited for this run as I am, the continuation. I think this is the one. This is the one to become a catalyst to really get our HRE game going. We still have issues to overcome, like France. Obviously, France is a benefactor from the inheritance. You can see here, if we do a force comparison, he is about the equivalent of me, but he has tons of manpower and way more force limit than we do because he has 50% from being on very hard difficulty. He's going for economic ideas. I would kill for him to do something derpy like exploration first, but economics are going to improve his economy. And of course, he's going to unlock that huge 20 morale of armies in his own French traditions. Currently, the English are rivaling us. I wish it was not the case, but they are. So it's essentially just myself and the Iberians one way or another. We have allied them both. So whether they're under Castile or independent, we're going to try to use them against France. Obviously, I'm not as worried about that as I was this, which just seemed immortal in the previous run, but it is still a big concern. And we could also encounter the formidable French joining the dark side and allying the Ottomans, something that we have experienced in my runs here as well, which would be pretty frustrating and a bit of a setback. But with that being said, guys, yeah, I just want to thank you guys if you're watching and you have come over to the stream and supported me. It's been insane. I for the last 3 days, I have legitimately felt like a streamer, like it is a career, and yeah, just informing those people who are not aware of such a thing, and very much appreciative. And give me your feedback in your comments below. I know this is just a rough, quick video, but if you want further updates, that kind of thing, you have advice for the series, if this is the dream game, the game of games, the Roman 1 culture on very hard difficulty, give me your advice, your tips, your thoughts, and I'd be really interested to hear that. I'm not just saying that like some people do. I will be reading the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace out.